Always, always, always do a cover letter. I hated doing the cover letter. Show them what's so good about you. You let them know what they're missing. Sincerely, Anastasia, PRO.
1, 2, 3, let's switch this up.
Hi, my little honeys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Anastasia, also known as your fave social media girl. If you haven't done so already, you already know what I'm gonna say. Please don't forget to subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and so would my channel. And of course, don't forget to turn the bell notification button so you know every single time that I post, which is on Fridays. We are doing our annual acting video, and we're getting into the little segments from my previous acting video that I did. I'm gonna link it right up above. It is how to prepare yourself to submit for agencies. So today we're gonna talk about cover letters because it's usually the first thing that you're going to have attached in your email when it comes to sending out your package. Nobody really sends out hard packages anymore. Like that was a thing 10 years ago. I've never done that, and I honestly don't think any of my acting friends have ever done that. I think it's all electronically now. So when you will be sending out your email, you will have kind of like a mini email cover letter, which I'll also explain in this video. And then you'll actually attach the actual PDF document of the cover letter. Let's get started, honeys. A cover letter is going to be, it's an important part of your package because like any cover letter you do for any job you apply for, it is essentially like the summary of what you're presenting of yourself, why you want to be a part of that job, and why you're going to be a great fit, and just kind of summarizes everything that you have to offer for the whole portfolio package that you're going to give them. Some agencies, when you look at their website, they will say, please attach a cover letter, and some won't say anything at all. They'll just say a resume, demo, and then headshots, and that's it. Always, always, always do a cover letter, no matter if whether they ask for it or not. It just really shows that you care and that you're actually willing to take the time to do a full-blown cover letter, even though they're not asking for it. It looks really professional. And like I said, it's kind of the face of your entire package. So it really just allows the agent to kind of get to know who you are within like a few couple of sentences. Never make the cover letter more than a page. You don't need it to be 2 pages. Even like well-established actors, when they do apply to agencies, you just never do more than a page. So don't blab. Really try to keep it to the point, precise to what you're trying to say and how you're trying to sell yourself, and try to get yourself like connected to the agency. Try to cap it at like 20 to 25 agencies that you want to be a part of, because it's just a lot to just sort of like send out so many packages. It takes a lot of work. And on top of that, you ideally don't want to send out the same cover letter for every single agent, because your cover letter is supposed to be personable. Just like you're applying to an agent, it has to be personal. Why do you want that agency? You can categorize your agencies, which is what I did. I would categorize like group 1 was like my number 1 group. Then my group 2 is like another like high up there. Group 3 is like okay, and then group 4, it's like, well, if I didn't get into group 1, 2, or 3, then this is like my backup plan. But still, even in my backup plan of agents, I still research them, and I still try to make the cover letter personable towards their agency altogether. Let's get into what the format is. So this is what my cover letter looks like. In terms of format, it's always pretty much going to be quite standard. You're always going to start off with the top 2 corners, either side, you're gonna have your name, and you're gonna have your address, and then you're also gonna have the date on the cover letter, and make sure that the date is the date that you're actually sending out the package. This is something you have to be mindful of, that let's say if you're choosing 5 agents a day to send out the cover letter, make sure that every day when you are sending out new packages, you have to go back and redo that date and save it as a new PDF, so you're not sending out like yesterday's cover letter in today's date. You know what I mean? Then on the other side, the agency's name, the agency's address, and then this is where you start saying dear, and you say the agent's full name. Do not do Dear Brandon. It should be Dear Brandon Smith. When it comes to cover letters, try to find what your love language is. For example, Nikita is obsessed with having everything very, very professional, very business-like, very more like strict. That's fine. That he's just more of a closed off person. Like he likes to present himself like that. There's nothing wrong with that. I, on the other hand, am an open book, as we can see. My cover letter is not, it's going to be professional, but it's going to be fun, bubbly, cute, professional. Like it's going to have a little bit of comedy to it. It's going to have a little bit of like sass to it. It's going to be a bit more open, a bit more free, not as like rigid and structured. That's just sort of the way I wanted to write mine. I say, hello, I hope this letter finds you well. You can always say something along the lines of that, kind of being like, hello, thank you so much for taking the time to read this, whatever you want to say. Your first paragraph is always going to start off with introducing yourself, who you are, where you went to school, if you went to school, what kind of training you've done, experience, that kind of stuff. That is like the first sentences because they are the ones that grab the attention. They want to know, okay, she's an actor, she's based in Toronto. I did one sent out by accident my whole entire package to an LA agency. They contacted me and they were interested, and then they realized that I'm Toronto based, not LA based, and that obviously fell through. But it did make me feel good knowing that an LA HO was interested. If you never had, like, I put Ryerson because everybody knows Ryerson here in Canada. It's one of the top acting schools in the country. It's okay if you never went to a school. I then continue to put that I went to acting classes. So don't worry about it if it's like, if you don't have like a degree or anything like that. And then I like to finish off with saying I've experienced working in various theater and short film productions. You can say something similar, that I've experienced working in, I don't know, film productions or whatever, blah, blah, whatever you have experience on. Your second paragraph is supposed to be sort of getting into what your credits are, kind of almost bragging a little bit in that sort of sense. What have you achieved? What are you proud of? Like, what have you done? Don't go naming every single credit, every single award you have gotten, every single movie you filmed, because you don't need to. I would like talk about the last maybe 2, 3 max, like recent things that you have done. Again, it doesn't have to have a date. Don't give it a date. Just say, yep, I did this. It could have been a year ago, but it doesn't matter. They're not going to know this, and they don't really care to know this. They just need to know that you have done stuff. So like, you know what's up. For mine, for example, I was getting this ready in August of 2021. And at that point, it's been 1.5 years since the pandemic hit. So I haven't booked anything since the pandemic. So I just didn't want to say any of that. What I did instead was I wanted to talk about what I did during the pandemic, because I've noticed that a lot of agents are interested in how did you keep up with your training? Like, how do you keep up with the creativity during the pandemic? And this is where I started my YouTube channel. I started my YouTube channel in the middle of the pandemic. I started doing my body positivity on Instagram in the middle of the pandemic. So these things do really tie well with acting, because there's a lot of shows that talk about body positivity. There's a lot of actors that are now kind of all different body types and sizes. And then my YouTube channel talks about acting. So that's kind of why I wanted to connect it into my cover letter. You can talk about things like that as well. Like you could be like, oh, I recently wrote 5 different short films and 2 of them are going into, I don't know, this blah, blah, blah film festival, if you wanted to say that. Or you can talk about specific credits. So there's that. Don't worry about having to, like, if you did only student films, don't have to say specifically, oh, I did these student films. Just say that the name of the movie is that they are short film productions. How do I say this? Fake it till I make it, honeys. Honestly, this is really what the industry is all about. Half of these actors that you see, not that they're lying what they're saying, but they're definitely bedazzling it, and they're definitely making it seem like bigger than it is, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not lying. You're just sort of adding a diamond to the end of there. Like, you have to. That's the only, you're selling yourself. You're selling a product. That's the whole entire point of this cover letter, is you walking into a business meeting and you're trying to poach your beautiful product, which is you, and have someone buy it, essentially, is how it is. So talk about the last 3 student films. They could have been a disaster. Who cares? Put them in there. Your third paragraph is going to talk about the agencies. So this is important. This is where the cover letter will switch between the agencies. Make sure you do your research. Oh my gosh, honeys, I've heard horror stories actually from agents. There's this one, I will never forget it. We had this agent come to our theater school to talk about, this is like our last graduating year, about how to apply this and that. And she was telling us that she's part of a really top agency here in Toronto. And the agency's name is named after an agent, but that agent died when he was like, I think he was like 85 or 86 or something like that. And she told us this story about one person was applying, like this person didn't do their research, and they would address it to the full name of this agent, but they would like get this and be like, did you not read our about section? Like, he died, he's not here. That to her is just like First of all, I'm not going to hire you because you clearly don't care about our agency to even click on the about section and read about us and just like see like basic information. Two, it also shows that you are not very attentive to detail. You're not like attentive to information, because if you cannot see that obviously this agent does not exist anymore and it says it right there on our website, then that just shows to me that if I send you out to an audition, are you going to read the whole breakdown? Are you going to do everything that they're asking you? She's like, right away, she's like, I'm not even going to go through your entire package, because that to me is already a red flag and a no. So make sure, you know, the agent's not dead and that you are addressing it not to the agency, but the agent's name, and that this agent is still currently working there and is fully booking, you know, clients and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes it's hard. There's like literally nothing about the agency. This is where you can kind of take the things that you already know about it. Okay, let's think about it. It's a boutique agency. Okay, which means it probably has no more than like 30 to 40 people on their roster all together within all the agents, which means it's a very, very teeny tiny, very personal relationship with each client and agent. You can say something like that, like, I'm looking for something more on the smaller scale, more personable, more something where we can concentrate one-on-one on our relationship and on our work relationship. Sometimes there will be obvious things that you can find about the agent and agency. A lot of it you could actually find on IMDb Pro. IMDb Pro, you do have to pay for it. It is something good to have, because this is how you can see who the agent represents and how well they're doing in terms of, do they get a lot of bookings with their clients? Because you can also see how many people they have signed. And if it's like, seems like a lot to you, then maybe that's not what you're into. You could see who's on there. This is a great way to see, like, for example, when I was looking for agencies that I'm interested in, I was curious, do they have a lot of women who look like me, who are in their like mid-20s, Caucasian? Like, do they have a lot of me looking people? Sometimes there were agencies where I'd look at their clients, I'm like, yeah, you have like 6 girls who look just like me. Obviously, you're probably not going to take me. So IMDb Pro is kind of useful to have. It is, I think it's like $100 a year, so it's not super expensive, but I do understand pandemic finances. Don't even get me started. Now, they talk about you don't want the same cover letter sent out to all 25 agents, because again, it doesn't make it seem like you did your research and it's personal. You don't want to say the same thing for every boutique agency. So everything except for this paragraph will stay the same. Again, you don't have to switch what you're offering, because it's not like you have 25 different things to offer for 25 different agents. That can all stay the same. But this third paragraph that talks about the agency, 1000%, you need to switch it around for every agency, for every agent, to make it more connected to them and to what they offer. Your last paragraph, your sort of like your fourth paragraph, is going to be your concluding sort of like closing statement, your closing thesis. It's like almost writing an essay. Honestly, it truly is. It's like writing an essay. I actually hated writing essays in school. I actually failed every single essay I wrote. That's why I'm an actor, so I don't ever have to write essays ever again. Your concluding paragraph is gonna sort of like put everything all together. It's gonna explain in this paragraph, like, why do you love acting? Like, don't tell them like, I love acting because I want to be famous. It does not make them be like, okay, well, are you truly trying to work, or are you just trying to get like fame and money? Because I mean, there's no guarantee that will happen to you. So talk about a little bit in 1 to 2 sentences, like, why do you love acting? Like, what's your passion about it? Like, why are they going to choose you? Show them what's so good about you. You let them know what they're missing, okay? And then you can kind of say at the end, like, with that being said, like I said, I truly believe I'd be a great fit to your agency, because it's true. You would be a great fit to their agency. And then at the end, you just kind of finish it off with thanking them. Thanks so much for your time. Let's, arrange a meeting at your earliest convenience, like I said. And I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Sincerely, Anastasia, PRO. And then that is the whole cover letter. You don't have to follow it down to the T the way I did it. When I first started out, my cover letter was probably, I'd say maybe even half the size of that. I didn't necessarily have paragraph 1 and then paragraph 2. My paragraph 1 and 2 was kind of together, because I didn't have that much credit, that much training to talk about. I just said, I just am like recently going to be graduating Ryerson Theater School, and I have extensive training in this, and I have 2 credits in short film productions. So don't stress if you don't have a lot to put in your cover letter, because they're also going to see that. They're going to understand, and they're going to see that in your resume, that you're new to this industry, you're new to the game. They're not expecting you to have 25 credits. When you are going to be doing the actual, like, putting the package together into the email, you will have a little thing called an email cover letter. So that's sort of where you same thing. You say, Dear Brandon Smith, that's the agent. I hope this email finds you well. Something along the lines of that. This one, you don't have to do any bedazzling. It's just pretty straightforward. My name is Anastasia. I'm a Toronto-based actor. I am looking for representation in theater, film, and television. Boom. If you want to add more, if you're like looking for just commercial or voiceovers or whatever, add that in. And then you'll just say, I have attached my cover letter, resume, link to my demo, and headshots for your convenience. Looking forward to hearing from you. Sincerely, Anastasia Piaro. And that's it. That's literally all you need in your email cover, because agents don't have time. Like sometimes they won't even read the cover letter. Sometimes they'll read the first, like I said, 5 sentences, and if it catches them, then they'll continue through the rest of the package. Sometimes they won't even look at your resume or your cover letter. They just go straight for the headshots, and they won't even look at your demo. It's a lottery game. It could happen anyway, but that's essentially sort of how it goes. My next video, I'm going to be going into talking about resumes. Honeys, if you have any questions about cover letters, if you like just are not sure how to write a paragraph or something, please feel free to reach out to me. You can follow me on Instagram at Anastasia_PR. You can DM me through there. You can also comment below down on this YouTube video. Even if you want me to like proofread your cover letter, I have no problem with that. I can take a look at it. I can help you out. Just let me know. I'm happy to help because they're stressful. Actually, for me, cover letter was the least favorite thing to do. I hated doing the cover letter. Anyways, honeys, I love you. Have a wonderful day, and I'm gonna see you all next Friday. Bye, honeys.